I don't know how someone can be married to someone from the Philippines, especially if they've actually been living in the Philippines for years, and not know that you shouldn't be posting shit about your family on YouTube and stuff. I've talked about that before, you know. And yet I see another example of somebody like, oh, I didn't even know that they could see it. It never occurred to me. How can something like that not occur to you, you know? I mean, I just don't get it. Are people really that, like, naive and out of touch with what's going on around them? You know, it's like you have to be, you know, what they call switched on about things and know what's going on in your environment to at least some extent. And I can't imagine someone being married to the Filipina and living in that environment and having that extended family. And if you are, obviously you know all the problems that different people have in the family. You see people talking about it all the time. Your wife talks to you about all the different chismes about what's going on. And you know not to stick your mouth in things a lot of times, because you know it's not going to be a good situation if you do. Let me flip this light on here. You know it's going to be a bad situation. And yet, apparently, there are people out there who still giving you advice on the Philippines and living in the Philippines and how to get along with your Philippine family and how not to screw things up. And then you see them making videos talking about how bad they screwed things up because they pissed off their family, talking about them on the internet. I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. But that's something we've talked about before, you know, these people who are always bad-mouthing their family or talking about private family situations, things about their wife and problems maybe with their stepchildren or whatever. And surely some of these people, especially if they have been living there, like I say, for a while, if they've got a YouTube channel, presumably they've been checking out other people on YouTube and seeing the problems they've gotten into, and it just never occurs to them. When you're living in a place where everybody's on YouTube and TikTok and everything, especially when that person that I'm thinking of themselves has made videos talking about how addicted everybody is over there to their phones and all social media and everything, and it never occurred to him that his family's going to see what he's posting on YouTube, or at least hear about it. Somebody's going to see it and tell him about it, just to make problems for you, you know? But that apparently never occurred to him. It just blows my mind. I guess I don't have any major point to this other than the one I've made before, which is don't be posting shit about your wife's family and your wife, especially on YouTube, you know? If you plan to have a good relationship, I don't know what it is that makes people think that they can publicly trash their wife or publicly trash their wife's family and there's not going to be issues. There's not going to be relationship issues. You see a lot of these guys who will tell you, you know, your wife's always going to choose her family over you anyways. Even your wife, no matter how much she loves you and no matter how much she sides with you a lot of times and tries to keep you out of her family issues and things that are going on with them. Like I've said before, you know, my wife, there are things I've found out about that she's told people that, you know, people wanting to borrow money or something or whatever that I've never even heard about, because she just tells them, no, I'm not going to ask him, you know, that's your responsibility, not my husband's. But still, if I was on YouTube trashing her family all the time, as much as she might love me, eventually, even she would have an issue with that, even if it wasn't talking about her. So, whatever. Yet another expert who is giving people advice on stuff that doesn't know how to set their own house in order, you know? Whatever. At least it makes good YouTube. Thought that I would do a little addendum here now that I'm stationary in Daytona Beach, and the light is getting better. I am sitting here in the parking lot at Chick-fil-A trying to decide if I want any breakfast. All I had today was a couple of sips of extra virgin olive oil, so going to be a short day today since we're not riding around in the back of the truck with any carriers. We're done with all that. Just going to help them out with their paperwork in the morning and then have a short day, which will be nice since the Daytona 500 is this weekend and it's Valentine's Day. Don't really want to drive back down I-4 late in the afternoon today. But this whole thing about people talking about their wives and their wives' families and stuff on YouTube, I just don't know, why there's not a little bit more common sense about that. I mean, like I say, we've talked about that before here. I think that some of these guys on YouTube, they get caught up in this whole thing. Look at me, I'm here giving advice on YouTube and telling people the way it really is and all that kind of shit. And, I've got some bizarre shit that I could share with people, and I could tell some, a lot of interesting lessons, and I'm just not going to do it. Just because, first of all, living in the past is not my thing. And secondly, I'm not going to get on YouTube and trash people, whether it's people I've been involved with over there before or known before, or people that, I have met in my wife's family or friends or whatever, and things that I know about. I'm just not going to do it. But some guys, I don't know how you can not think that stuff is going to come back to haunt you. But I think people get so caught up in this whole, look at me, I'm on YouTube making videos. People are watching me and thinking that I'm a source of information for them. And it's just, they think this is such a good idea for a YouTube video that I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. And, sometimes instead of sharing all that stuff, just so you can try and compete with all the other people on YouTube who are sharing provocative shit. I mean, I've made a few videos in the past where I've just gotten a crazy number of views compared to what I was expecting. But it's always, because you mentioned some other YouTuber's channel or something that's going on that everybody's looking for, looking for stuff about on YouTube. And you end up getting involved in so much controversy and stuff that it's just not worth it. But trying to get views on YouTube, it's just not worth destroying your family life for that. I can see if you were making thousands of dollars a month off of YouTube or something, even hundreds of dollars a month, and that was your source of income, and that was really helping you out where you might not care about anything except, hey, I've got to get views on YouTube and make some money. But it's just not worth it having a little YouTube channel and having it bring all those issues and problems into your life. As much as you might enjoy making YouTube videos and stuff like that, if it's not your career, it's not your job, you probably shouldn't be exposing yourself to those kinds of problems, because it's going to cost you more than you're getting out of it. Even if what you think you're getting out of it is just having people look at you and think, hey, look at him, he knows what he's talking about, he's got cool shit to talk about. It's not worth that. Having people think that you're an expert on this stuff and trying to compete with other people out there, it's not worth what you're going to cost yourself in the long run. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents, which is worth as much as everybody else's 2 cents, which is probably not even 2 cents. Anyways, actually I had a little clip of some stuff I shot yesterday where I took my lunch break with the carrier I was with yesterday out along Riverside Drive here in Daytona. A little short thing that wasn't worth posting. Maybe I'll tack it on to the end of here for those who want to see how beautiful Daytona is. Another nice peaceful lunch break here on Riverside Drive in Daytona. Not a peaceful lunch break for that fisherman out there. Supposed to be some rain moving in later this afternoon. And tomorrow it's going to cool things off a little bit. The weather in Orlando this morning set a maybe record high, up in the upper 80s. So I think over here at the coast, not too bad. Especially got a nice little breeze. Locked up in the back of a mail truck, it doesn't feel so great. But what you got there, buddy? Huh? Decide what he's going to do. There we go. Nice day to be on a boat. That's it. Well, as you can see, I did decide to go ahead and do the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. One of the slowest Chick-fil-A drive-thrus I've ever seen. Right over there is Daytona International Speedway, where they're having the Daytona 500. Lots of excitement this weekend, though it's probably going to rain about race time.